Wicked. So I'm starting to record this course. So every single day, when I have sessions and with the recording, the new timetable is ready. It's just on my older laptop. I need to send it to the group. You can see I've added a beginner session on Saturday when the markets are closed. We can go through forex and slight little changes. The first thing I want to say is you might have seen my message on the group regarding the Axie Trader. Their regulations have changed and they've been put into place. I had no, literally, I just found out now. So that's why I sent a message today. So if you follow those instructions, you won't be affected. And because we're a scalping community, we're going to be scalping as well as getting good entries for normal trading as well. We need to have high leverage, like 1 to 400. Even in my eyes, sometimes that's kind of low. I've traded on accounts with 1 to 1,000, 1 to 2,000 with various different brokers. So for you to be able to scalp or use good lot sizes that we're going to be using with our strategy, you need to have high as leverage as possible, not too high, but 1 to 400 is perfect. So with the new laws, they're changing to 1 to 30 for all brokers regulated in Europe. So AxiTrader did tell me that there's a way that we can carry on doing scalping and high leverage strategies that we have, or just have high leverage in general. It's not high. I would consider that normal compared to the previous, few years. 1 to 400 is perfect. So you have to just follow the instruction that I sent you. So fill in that PDF form that's on the chat. The email that you send it to is also within that PDF form. So if you go through that, and some people did ask me, what account number do you put there? So put your full name that you use on AxiTrader, and also put your MetaTrader 4 account number, where it asks you for account number, and then they'll move you to the Australian broker, and they'll probably contact you and tell you what to do. So if you follow those instructions, everything should be good, and you'll still be able to trade as usual. Okay, so next update, guys. Any questions that you have? Just because my memory is not the best, sometimes I have started taking notes. I want to start covering everything. So everybody's asking about the auto trader. I know it's only been a few. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Just make sure that it's clear and readable, and send it back to that email. So that should be fine. So you can sign it by hand and do that as well. That should be all good. What was I gonna say? So yeah, also in terms of the auto trader, so I think I did tell everybody anywhere between 30 and 60 days after you get started. I've spoke to a few different brokers. Again, we need very tight spreads, and we also want the trades to be executed straight away. So I'm actually experimenting a few different ways to have the auto trader. There's one way where you guys have to download something, and then it's free. You don't have to pay anything for the auto trader. You have to download something, and every time I trade, it'll be connected to yours. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do that. The second way is where you guys don't have to do anything. I can be working with the broker, and they can help me create a MAM account. So every time I place a trade, it will automatically be placed on your trader. That's the best way. I'm just trying to figure out with the brokers, because they say you have to regulate, etc., etc. So if I can get a connection with somebody that can help me, that's going to be finalized. And the final other way where I can manually take all your details, and I can put it onto my own computer and have a local trade copier. So the only problem with that is I probably need usernames and password, just so I can put it onto my VPS. So every time I place a trade, it will go into everybody's account. But I don't want to do it that way, because I'd rather let you guys keep your username and password. So that's just different ways I'm experimenting. Whichever one works, I'm going to do that. Second update in terms of the website, I'm not sure if I've not got it up on this computer. So basically the website is nearly done. It's going to look nice, and that's what I'm trying to make it look good. It's going to have a members area where you can access videos. It's also going to have a members area where hopefully you can discuss, and have a login section where you can speak, like a forum. So if you guys want to speak about different things, whatever you guys can do that. Just trying to create a community, and also just different things on there. The videos, each of my strategies will have a video there. So some of you guys can't make it, so you guys can access that videos on the website. And also gonna have meetups. So I don't know where you guys are from, but just do me a favor, private message me, tell me where you're from. So as the community gets bigger, we can have local meetups where we can meet in person, and maybe we can just network, get to know each other, and also trade together on a weekday. Like I literally went to one last week. I'm part of a different trading community where we just get together, and it's amazing because you get to meet different people, and also you can trade together as well. Okay, cool. So if you guys are saying anything in the chat, let me just read it. Okay, perfect. So that's it. I'm gonna get straight onto the markets, unless I've missed anything. So is there anything that you guys were waiting for that I haven't covered? Oh, also, yeah, the £400 to 4,000 challenge. Um, after 30 to 60 days, as soon as the auto trader starts, and that's when that's going to start as well. So I know a few people have been asking me. And guys, I just want to know what you guys are doing with your £400 accounts, because some people are actually posting their results and telling me how well they're doing. And yeah, I've posted it on Instagram as a testimonial, but also I want to know like how everyone is doing, because the people that sent me messages, they're showing me that they're doing well. But if you guys are going wrong anywhere, I want to know, because what's the point of me posting all the good results when some of you are not having the best results? So I'd rather iron that out first instead of just promoting how amazing this is. So I want to make sure that's fine as well. Okay, so is that 200 on top of your 400? Wow. If you don't mind, I can scribble out your name. I'm looking for testimonials as well. So if you can send me a screenshot or anything that just, if you want, if you don't have to, but I would like to have testimonials so I can share this to people, because it's a free service and the only way you're gonna actually show people. Yeah, no worries. So, but as long as it's good results, and you can show people how well you're doing, that's fine. Okay, cool. So let's jump onto the charts. Has anybody been trading today? If you have been trading, just let me know in the chat section how it's going for you, or anything that you might be in drawdown, or anything that you might be in profit. Let's just have a look at it. I know USD JPY dropped like mad last night. Yeah, so USD JPY dropped like mad yesterday. So whoever's in that trade, you guys must have caught some nice pips. Okay, amazing. Guys, when Entry Kings becomes big, just remember the first. Yeah, you guys own Entry Kings. I'm just the person that just named it. So yeah, so guys, like I'm telling you, it's gonna be big. Like it's gonna take time. Not in any rush. Like one thing I want to make clear, like sometimes when something is created, the sole purpose of that the objective for that company or organization is to have more customers. Like you might see different companies, they have like an objective to have 1 million customers by whatever 2020. I'm not taking shots. It's all good. It's business, and businesses have to have targets, and that's the way it works. So when a company's backbone is based off increasing the number of customers, remember that's the core value that they're providing is the business opportunity. So I just want a core value of Entry Kings to actually be trading. Like you guys, it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether that's network marketing, working full time, or whether you're just retired or just working every single day, traveling, whatever you guys are doing. I just want Entry Kings to be core trading product. So people that want to also learn different strategies about trading, they can come to Entry Kings. This is nothing like there's no other reason behind it. It's just trading, simply to get better at trading and to obviously improve our entry points. So it doesn't matter if you're a scalper, if you're a swing trader, if you're a day trader, entries are very important. So I'm just trying to share that. And I will add different strategies in the future. I've got some good swing trade strategies. I don't know if you guys see my Instagram, over 400 pips with a few different entries, 100 pips, over 100 pips on each trade on USD JPY. And that was that trade lasted about 2 days. And again, that was without analysis, but with patience and a low lot size. So guys, let's get started. If there's any charts that you want me to look at, let me know. I know Abid, you mentioned a few charts on WhatsApp. Just do me a favor, because I don't want to go off this screen. So just let me know what charts they were again on this message. So I'll have a look at them on the Telegram chat, not Telegram chat, sorry, the Zoom chat. So I'll have a look at them right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got a few pairs on the right side. You guys can see my screen, right? Okay. GPAUD. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to cover everything. So let's start from the top. This is just analysis from last week. I'm just going to start with USD CAD, just go over my main pairs that I normally go through. And again, these are just main because I've just been analyzing these constantly on a daily basis. So, yep. So I'm going to look at this, then GBP USD, GBP AUD, Euro USD. I'll have a look at all of these. So let's look at these first. So on the USD CAD, as you can see, our entry that we got in last time, so I didn't really give any more entry points since then. I remember we caught a lot of pips and it's come back down to that area. And one thing I would say is a few different scenarios can occur. We don't really have to do the analysis again unless you guys are new, but we've already done this last week. So on the daily, it's an uptrend. On the H4, it was also an uptrend. I'll show you again. So on the H4, it's an uptrend and it hasn't broken yet. As you can see, it created another bottom there, slightly lower, but it didn't really break and it's going back up. Is it confirmed to go right to the top? You can't say that. Anything can happen. And also I'll show you what could happen. But first thing I want to say is go back to the hourly, so you can see the channel a bit wider. So you can see what's just been going on. It hit this bottom around about here. It previously hit that price when we told you to get in last time. So again, it doesn't really want to break this. So if I draw another resistance point, resistance support, sorry. So if I draw a little small support here, you'll see what I mean. It's a very strong support. So it's bounced off there a few times now. And since the 10th of July, it's not really broken that area. So you can see here, even there's been a massive wick where you can see that it broke that area, but straight within that hour, it went straight back above this support. And since then, it's not really broken the support. Even here, it hit the trend line again and it shot back up. And again, there was some major news today. It shot back down again. Look, I'm not surprised. It hit the support line and it started to go all the way back up. So that's the USD CAD. So what are we looking at? So let me show you potentials. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a channel within a channel just so you guys can understand what's been happening recently. So the big channel on the 4-hour chart you can see is that, but that's just really big. You're not going to really be able to see what's going to happen in the next few hours. So I'm going to draw a channel within a channel so you guys can try to find a nice entry. And what I mean by that is I'm going to draw a channel within a channel. So you can see since that point, it's just been in this area. So it's created a little channel where it's bounced up off of that and it's come back down, bounced up, it's come back down, and it looks like it's come back down. I'm just going to give you a good entry to get in. So let's go on a 15-minute chart. I do think that it's going to continue, but there is something that I want to tell you guys about what could happen. So I already think that we could see it push back up to that area. That's what I'm thinking. Just temporarily, I'm not saying long term. I'm not saying long term it's going to shoot up, but I am saying that for now we could see it push up to there. However, we're not going to get in yet. We're going to go on a 15-minute chart. That's where you find our entries. So let's find a nice entry. And again, I'm going to be a precautious entry and I explain why. So as you can see on a 15-minute chart, so remember, we're looking for a buy now. We've confirmed it. Now we're just trying to find the entry point where we think that it's going to go up slightly more. So let's find the entry point for short-term trade. So the way I'm going to do it is, again, you might notice now, I keep doing this. So when I go into smaller time frames, if I do see a trend, I will draw more trend lines. And it does get confusing, but as long as you know, I know on the daily, it was an uptrend. On the H4, it's an uptrend. Hourly, it's created another channel within a channel on an uptrend. So on a 15-minute, I'm not going to be surprised to see an upward trend again. So I'm going to draw the trend line so I can find my entry. So cool. So I would say it's like it is going up. Like if you look at this carefully, you can see that this is definitely being on an uptrend, even on a 15-minute chart. So if you want to get in for a buy, even though we've analyzed the direction is going up, you don't want to get in yet. Why? Because on the 15-minute chart and the 1-hour chart, you're actually buying at the top of the channel. Remember, we say if it's a buy, we want to buy at the bottom of the channel. Remember, right? So we're not going to go against our rules. So if we are looking for a temporary buy, I would wait just to see what's going on. I would want to get into a buy. Again, this is good for scalping, not for long term. So I'll explain why. So let me draw an area where we can get in. So I'll be looking for an area. Let's draw a rotated rectangle. So I'll be looking for an area around about. I would prefer this. So if you are going to be looking for a buy, the reason why you can see it's a wick area. So the reason I'll just draw the whole thing. You'll see like there's been some wicks in this area, so it doesn't stay there for long. So this is just temporary. I'm not saying long term it's going to go up. I'm saying temporarily for a scalp. Let's see how many pips you can catch there. So if you got in here, a nice 10 pips. And even same if you got in here and you go into the top 20, 30 pips there. And again, if you look at the bottom here, you can easily catch about 20 pips if you get it right. So if you get the entry, so no point buying here, because what if it bounces back down? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Is you want to get in towards this area. If it doesn't come back down, then we missed it. It's okay to miss it as long as you were precautious and you were happy with your analysis and you was confident. But right now to get in, I'm not confident. Do you see how that affects my trading? I need to be confident. So I'm not going to take the trade right now. I'm going to wait till it goes to a confident area so I can feel confident. So a confident area is somewhere down here. So let me change this back to this. So let's move the chart so you guys can see. Again, this is not guaranteed to go up, but I'm thinking temporarily it's going to ignore this. When I change the chart, it goes massive. I'll draw a little arrow so you guys can maybe take a note of this. So that's the area I'm looking at. How much drawdown can we have here? Let's have a look at the worst case scenario, just according to the recent. So if you go into this area, about 5 pips, 5 to 10 pips, I would say about 5 to 10 pips. So don't go overly crazy on the lot size, but it's a good chance to get back in a lot trend. As you can see, there's a major news down here. Let me just highlight that for you guys so you can see that. There's major news you can see here. So is it guaranteed to recover? No, it's not. It doesn't mean that just because it shut down, it's going to shoot all the way back up. But there is a potential of it going back up or maybe coming back down. Okay, cool. So, but one thing that I did want to speak about was I also think that there's something else could be going on. I think it could be looking for a breakout. Okay, cool. So I think it could be looking for a breakout. What I mean by that is I'll show you now. So I'm going to go into high time frame. I'll be looking at this quite differently. So as we can see, I just want to show you what's been going on. And what I mean is, I don't know if you guys do patterns or flags or anything, but I can see there was like, I'll show you what I mean now. So I can see there was like an impulsive breakout around about here. It literally, on the daily chart, it broke out impulsively without stopping. It just kept going up. It just kept going down here. And I can kind of see like a correction. I'm just drawing this so you understand what I'm trying to say. So it might not make sense right now, but don't worry about it. I'll explain it to you guys. So I can see this happening. This is on a daily chart. So what I'm trying to say is why I shouldn't be surprised for a sell when this normally happens. Like the way it works is, as you can see here, and again, I want you guys to understand trading is not just about what's happening recently. You need to know what's been going on in the market so then you can decide like what to do. Let me delete that. So you can see what happened here. And I'm just showing you just so you understand what I'm talking about so it makes sense to you. So let me just make this smaller. Sorry. Let me delete this. So if you're confused, don't worry about it. I'm just going to show you why. I'm just saying being careful. I'm not saying guarantee this is to happen. I'm just saying look what happened before. Remember, you use the past to predict the future. So what I'm saying is, as you can see there, this happened before. So it has, so you could also be looking for a sell long term. It could drop. What I'm trying to say, this is on a daily chart. Again, I'm not saying that this is going to happen or it's going to go back up. What I am saying is that long term, there could be an area for it to shoot down because this is an ascending flag or ascending channel, and then there's an impulsive breakout. So I'm also looking for a potential impulsive breakout to the downside. That's something that I can see just by doing my simple analysis, and that's something that we should be ready for as well. Like even if you don't think it's gonna happen right now, it's something that we should be prepared for. You can catch a lot of pips potentially. And again, I know this is scalping, but if you love trading and it's all about opportunity, it's easy 2,000-3,000 pips on the downside. Okay, yeah. I'll do that. I'll do that. And guys, just because it's recorded, also it doesn't mean. But of course, if you have to go, that's fine. Um, but yeah, that's fine. It's recording. So I was gonna say. So I've been say that again. 12th of May. Yeah, on a daily chart, you can also see that it is on a. You could potentially see like a downtrend. So I'm just giving you a scenario. I want you to understand the market. It's not just about what's going on recently. You need to understand what's actually happening in the market so you can decide what you want to do. So on a daily, this is, you can see it's clearly a downtrend of the channel there. So that's why I wouldn't be surprised to see this impulsive. So even though for a scalp, I've given you a buy, let me zoom back into the 15-minute chart so you can see what I'm talking about. I think it could touch this area and just coming for a little temporary scalp for a buy. However, I do think that once it gets back into this zone, let me draw it for you. If it does get back into this zone, we can look for it. We can look for a nice sell. And I'll show you what I mean now. So let's go back onto a daily chart so you guys can see what I'm speaking about. So I'm saying we can see it bounce back up and then look for a long-term sell. But for the scalp, I don't want to confuse you guys. For the scalp, then that's fine. We're looking for a buy when it comes back down to this area. Let me just delete this. So let's just aim for that scalp for now. I would say get out around about, just take about 10 pips and get out. If it goes to that area, take your 10 pips and get out. But we can watch what happens next. If it doesn't get in, we can look for see where it goes and look for a sell. So hopefully, do you guys understand why short term it could be going up? I just want to make this clear because if all of you guys are watching this and it doesn't make sense, then what's the point? So do you understand why I'm saying short term? Maybe get in there for a scalp just so it continues the small 15-minute channel. But do you understand why long term I'm telling you it could go down? Like, I'm not saying it will, but does that make sense to you guys? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So there's like another 5, 6 of you. So if that makes sense, just let me know because then I can carry on. I'll give you like 3 seconds to reply. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's fine. I think majority of you get it. So because like it's all about your words, and you might think this is a small thing, but words are very important. If you tell yourself that this, or I wouldn't be surprised if this happens again, you're telling yourself that you can acknowledge the fact that this could happen. And the reason why that makes you a good trader is because you're not being a victim. You're not telling yourself, oh man, I did this analysis and it went against me. No, you already predicted that you wouldn't be surprised if this happens because of these reasons. That's what makes you a good trader. And then you start to understand why something happens. You're giving reasons that's going to be stuck in your mind, and next time it happens, you'll be prepared. So it's all very important. Cool. So that's the USD CAD. Look for a buy short term here. Long term, again, we can look at this. I think we can find a better entry. But again, look, again, the reason why I'm saying this is it had an impulsive move here. It created a little flag down here somewhere. As you can see that it shut down, and now it's creating like another flag here again. So long term, I do think that it could come down maybe from around about here. But for now, we're looking for a short term buy for a scalp. Could we look at the potential drop zone in a bit more depth? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, cool. Me personally, I wouldn't really be able to say when to sell it yet because I'm just gonna see how it plays out. So at the moment it is going up. There is like a solid resistance around about here. If it does reach this area again, even this could move. Maybe we could see something like this happening. I'm not saying that this is gonna happen. Maybe you can see something like this happening where, but this is like in the future, isn't it? not saying it's gonna happen right now, and then maybe we can get in for a sell somewhere down here. But let's not look for the sell right now. Let's wait for the buy on the scalp. But remember, because you're scalping, after a few pips, just exit if it's going the wrong way, if you feel like it's broken out. So for example, if it comes around about here, I'll just draw a red line so you guys understand where you should get out. So if you're scalping and it comes down here, just make that red. If it comes to that zone, and you got it in a buy, sorry, I would just get out because it's breaking the trend. So that gives you around about, if you're getting around about here, yeah, that's a lot of pips. But if you see it go down like 10, 15 pips, again, so understand your lot size, don't do anything crazy and that your account can't handle. But again, there's no reason why you can't have 10, 15 pips. And then you get out because it could be shooting out. There's a little channel here and it's having an impulsive breakout downwards. That could happen. But for now, I would say look for a buy in this yellow box for a few pips and then we see what happens. I'm just going to watch this for a few more hours to see what plays out. Then we can look for a sell. Okay, next chart. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Let's go to the next chart. What was somebody asking me? Let me have a look. So I'm gonna look at GBP AUD. So Abid, if you want to help me, because I know you looked at this on WhatsApp. Okay, cool. So let's look at GBP AUD. So let's go on a daily chart first, just to see where the price is. So me personally, I can see the price is kind of in the middle, but compared to the recently, is pretty low on the uptrend. Straight away, we can see this already. Like, there's no surprises here. We can see the trend. So on the H4 again, you should see a solid trend. So let's zoom out. Yep, we can see a solid uptrend on the H4. So let's draw the lines. Sorry, ignore that. So this is the H4. So we can see a solid uptrend. So for GBP AUD, we could be looking for a buy. It's quite at the bottom of the channel as well. So let me just move this around slightly so it makes more sense. Okay, cool. So yeah, H4, we've determined that it's an uptrend. Long term on the daily, we also see this uptrend. I'm just having a look. Also on a weekly, I can see that it shut down, is going back to that area. So we could argue that it could create another high. So again, a lot of signs that it's going to go up. So on the 4 hour, we've done that analysis already. So let's go on a 15-minute chart or an hour. Let's just have a look at an hourly chart. Let's see what's going on recently. Recently, we can see, let's draw some support and resistance. Remember, the more confirmations, the better. Let me change the color for this. So yeah, so let's draw another one. Another one. Another one. Just so we can see what's going on with the price. Bottom and about here. So we can see some support resistance as always. It just keeps bouncing off that. So me personally, if you want a powerful entry, again, you can see recently there's been like a slight, this is on an hourly chart, there's been a slight few lower lows. The reason why I'm drawing this just so we can see where to get in. Again, I'm not drawing this just to tell you that it's going down. This is just an hourly chart where we can find a buy. Again, looking at this, where would you like to get in? Like an amazing entry would be around about anywhere here, because long term we can see yeah, exactly. You want to, it's an uptrend, we want to get in at the bottom. So cool. So a nice zone to get in would be anywhere here, because is if you're getting anywhere here for a buy, the reason why I'm saying that is because first of all, you're buying at the bottom of this kind of downtrend on the hourly, so you're buying at the bottom where there's a chance it's going to go up, and also there's a trend line on the H4 where it's been going up every time it bounces in this area. So anywhere here would be a nice buy, I would say. To minimize drawdown, we're going to go on a 15-minute chart. Let's find an entry where we can get in on a 15-minute chart. So on a 15-minute chart, it could even get a high entry. I'll explain what I mean now. So let's zoom into this area. So I know this is a bit lower. This could be like a higher risk entry. On a 15-minute chart, we can look at current uptrend and try to get an even higher entry. So again, this is on a 15-minute chart. Low, let's see how many pips draw down. So if you're getting towards the bottom, 10, 20 pips, cool. I would say, again, let it come down to this area. And if you're wanting to get in with a bit slightly higher risk, this is a good entry for a 15-minute chart. Scalping wise, this could be a good entry as well. You can see every time it touches that area, it's come back up horizontally. So if you want to scalp, this is a potentially good area. Me personally, I would wait. Let's draw another support resistance. I'll try to give you a better entry. Where has it bounced a few times? It bounced here a few times. So could we see something like this happen where it continues? So we could see something like that. So me personally, I would try to get in towards the bottom here. Hopefully meaning that we get less drawdown if you get into this area. But if it breaks this area, then you can just straight away get out after a few pips. But could easily hopefully catch about 10 pips on a scalp. But if you do wait for it to come back to this area, this is an even more solid entry. And I'll show you on a H4 why. On a H4, you can see that it's an even more solid entry. The reason why is because you're getting in at the bottom of this channel, and it's also at the bottom of the downtrend. So there's two indicators, and there's also a resistance here as well. So if you want, you can move this slightly lower, around about here. So long term, you could see this happening around about here, and then it's making way all the way back up. That's long term what could happen. But for the short term, ignore that. So for the short term, we get a little scalp here, and it could go back up to this area, and then come back down and get in again. So me personally, if you want to scalp, there's an area there where you can scalp. This is just if you want to get in anytime now in the uptrend. But long term, for a long term entry, even like a less drawdown area, I would get in towards this area where this line is, because as you can see here, it came down here, it shot back up. There's a few wicks here showing pressure. So I'll show you what I mean. As you can see, there's a few wicks there, and literally everything, it came in this area. How much drawdown did it have? Like, let's see from the bottom here, from this blue line, like 50 pips. But again, we're looking for a lower lot size here. You can see that potentially it could even come lower. Again, if it comes lower, don't be surprised. But me personally,